Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast, episode 27. I can tell you right now, and I sense it in my bones, that this one's going to be a weird one, but welcome. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for listening. We see you, Belgium. Thanks for continuing to listen. We've got our usual suspects are back. Norstar.
I just have a question. Do cross-eyed people, do their tears come straight down, or do they zigzag?
I don't know how to answer that. Also, here is
sideways.
Shelby.
Hi.
And returning, I don't think you've been on since the all girls podcast, but TrashPanda's here.
Hello. I don't have a weird question. I'm sorry.
No one does, but Norstar. Norstar, like, I don't know if he has,
My
like,
thing.
do you keep a notepad in the shower? Is that what happens, or?
I don't know, it's just on my phone. So it's always there, even in the shower.
I know there's a lot of people who are, let's call them creative people, but, you know, people that...
That's a good word.
Content creators and whatever. They keep, like, a notebook, like, at their desk, just to write fleeting ideas, and they usually like your jokes, you know?
Yeah, that's what I do. It's just, I use my phone, because it's just way faster for me to type on my phone than it is for me to find a pen and start writing.
I don't think you were there the other day. I found a joke, and I'm like, this is a Norstar joke. This is perfect. And I told it on the stream, and I think even McDora gave it a 9 out of 10. Oh, what was it?
McDora, he's a hard man to please.
I know, I was impressed, but it was a 9 out of 10. Oh, geez, what was it? It was, why is stealth armor made out of leather?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh.
Because it's made out of cow hides. Is it hides?
I hate that was funny. It took me a second. I had to think about it.
I don't even know if I butchered it, but it still works, and it's kind of good. I liked it.
Well, if it was a cow, you definitely butchered it.
See what I mean? See what I mean?
That just makes me actually think of a question, because, like, you know, in the real world, leather makes all kinds of noises. Like, have you ever seen somebody who wears, like, a pair of leather pants, and when they're walking, it's just, like, crinkling noises and, like, shuffling noises?
It's just
Well,
dependent
there's
on...
two references. You have SpongeBob and his new boots.
Yeah, exactly that.
Or you have Ross from Friends, who had to go in the bathroom and put baby powder between his legs.
That's right.
One of the funniest TikToks I see this week was like this news thing saying some study shows that people prefer to watch shows that are about stuff that they don't have, and then it just cuts this guy sitting on the couch watching Friends.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Speaking of Friends, if you don't have one in the world, you at least have Steve from Blue's Clues.
Yeah. You know what? I completely forgot about Steve until Steve came and reminded everyone.
No, you know the funny part is that a long time ago, someone told me that Steve left the show because he overdosed and died.
Holy shit.
And I believe that. And I never fact-checked it. So I spent the last, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years of my life telling people that he overdosed and died.
You know,
And then here he comes.
I've definitely heard other people saying
I
they
did
thought
as
he was
well.
dead. But my favorite thing is, like, the conspiracy is just, like, because the timing he left, I think it was, like, 2002, he left to fight in Afghanistan. Now
Shelby, don't steal my topic. Don't steal my topic. No. Don't you steal my topic.
Did you write it down in the topic channel?
Oh,
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Remind me to reference my response I made to someone who had a toxic opinion about Steve.
All right.
Okay, I'm not being toxic, but I'll intro it.
And also it says conspiracy theory about where Steve was this whole time.
Okay, all right. Norstar, go first.
No, Shelby started it. She's got to finish
All right, okay, all right. Who's going to Afghanistan? Jesus.
So
apparently
the theory
Steve.
is that Steve was in Afghanistan, and now that the American troops have withdrawn from Afghanistan, is that he's back now.
No.
And then he posted that video.
Well, because 9/11 happened, and then not long after that, we inserted ourselves with no lube in Afghanistan, and then we forgive the reference, but we pull out, and then boom, here comes Steve.
Loki would like to watch a show about Steve going to war, but that's probably a bit dark.
Oh, you want? So there's a picture.
I saw
with it.
I saw the picture.
Topics.
He pulls out the little notepad and the crayon and writes down his hit list of
that picture.
people he has to eliminate.
He was in the special forces.
I just thought he got too old. That was the reason I thought he stopped.
I had no idea how old he was. I thought he was in his 60s, but I found out he's 47.
No, what we found out is he doesn't seem to age a day. What the fuck? He still looks.
He's definitely bald. You can tell.
He's got a kid face though. Like he just looks like
he does have a baby face. Yeah.
You know what he reminds me of was the Mystery Man. I don't remember the name of the movie, but he was dressed up as a turtle, the Master of Disguise. He was like, "Dude, am I not turtly enough for the Turtley Club?"
This
Yeah,
sounds
that's what he
my
looks like.
God.
That's what he
sounds
looks
like
like
an
exactly.
American thing. I don't know.
It was a really stupid movie, and it's the only thing I remember from because he was
It
at like
sounds-
some formal party dressed up as a turtle because it was the Turtle Club party, and he thought he had to look like a turtle. He was trying to blend in, trying to be the Master of Disguise, but it
So
just looked
so
like a turtle.
for those who are well aware, because I'm not, I saw the clip that's going around, and I've seen many people reacting to it. Really hit a
Steve.
lot of people in the feels. Yeah, Steve. What brought it on? Like, is this a thing that he's just decided he should do, or is he like making
It's
a
for the
comeback? or-
25th anniversary of Blue's Clues. That's
Okay,
why.
so it's a part of the anniversary. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm like, this dude's
It-
got some fucking heart if he's just coming out here to you know.
Yeah, well, it felt like it was out of nowhere. Like it was strategically planned. And
Seems
like
it. Yeah,
the
that makes
best part
sense.
about the video is that when he spoke to us as if we were still little kids sitting in front of our TV, helping him find clues.
Yeah, and so I saw your other your meme there. Steve wasn't talking to any of you born before '97
Yeah.
because that's
So I
fucking
actually-
true, right?
Yeah. So my cousin had commented on one of my posts about Steve, and he was like, "What is happening here?" I was like, "You were too old when Blue's Clues was out to understand." And he just didn't respond because he was like, "Oh, true. All right, I get it."
Yeah, there's a demographic that knew what Blue's Clues
Yeah, 'cause-
was, and then
Because Blue's Clues has been on for a long time, but
I knew-
Steve wasn't always there.
Well, you say before 1997, though. I was born in 1994. I was 7 when he left Blue's Clues. I remember him.
Would have been the right age.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you wait, yeah, but no, weren't born in '97.
No, I was born in 94. You said
Yeah, we're talking about people after
after.
'97.
Yeah.
after.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Come on,
but
get
you
it
said-
together,
You
show.
said
We-
before.
We don't want some
Maybe-
13-year-old TikToker going, "Oh my god, Steve is talking to me." So
I've
fuck
definitely
off.
seen that. I've definitely seen them.
Fuck off.
It just reminds me of like whenever it's like, oh, you know, in like 10, 20 years, like the people are gonna be like, oh my god, I love living in like the early 2000s. Like I wish I was alive during the early 2000s, and like our parents had such good style and things like that. Like,
Yeah, I
they'll act
can't
like
wait till they're like, "Oh man,
my
I can't.
God.
I wish I lived in the 2020s. They were fucking mint."
Oh my god.
I can't wait till like
No one's gonna say that.
there's gonna be like scene kids coming back, being like, "Oh, this is like like a vintage scene T-shirt, and look at my vintage hair."
Does
and they'll,
anyone-
like dress up like scene kids going
I
raw?
hope they show the video of Steve.
What's the equivalent of Steve for like kids in the 2010 that sort of area?
I don't know. I
Is
wasn't
it
a kid.
like Paw Patrol or something like that? Like what is it that they all
That's
watch?
even later.
No, there's no real people in Paw Patrol.
No, but
I
there's
don't think there were like any standout kind of shows because there's a lot more media growing up in this time, so it's a lot more.
but even like
diluted.
when I grew up, I mean, Blues. I'm well aware of
Back
Blues.
in
Shut
around
up.
World War II.
Shut your face. All right, I'm well aware of Blues because Blues was like the show that was on during the day when there was nothing else on because it's nothing else to watch because when I was growing up, there's no fucking Netflix or whatever.
There was no TV. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
When we grew up, there wasn't.
When we grew up in our town, there was 2 channels. All right, that's it. 2,
What?
2.
Yeah.
We at least had 3.
We got. You know what? The town threw a party when the 3rd channel came. All right,
I
it's
was
not even a
teenager when
joke.
the fourth came.
And then the 4th,
Yeah.
we had to adopt a digital TV to get the 4th
Mm.
channel. This is not even bullshit, right? So
Yeah.
there was a channel 10, which you can get everywhere else in Australia except for where we grew up. Like there's a big black patch there. It's like, but they're like, oh, if you get a set-top box and get digital television, you can get channel 10. Guess which town adopted that digital television 100% before everyone else? The one that got a free
Yours?
channel out of it. They're like, what? Wow, what's going on? The middle of fucking nowhere, in the middle of the desert. They're like technically advanced. They all have digital television. What's going on?
We wanted another channel.
We got to get
Yeah.
Simpsons finally.
No Simpsons, no Cheese TV, no Neighbours.
Yeah, none of
Lots,
that.
lots of things.
I'm
No,
sorry. What, Cheese TV?
that was like a Saturday, like not even Saturday, like morning cartoons, and that's where like Digimon, Pokemon, Dragon Ball, all
Oh,
that.
okay.
That was
And there
a
was like hosts, and they would do
Sailor
like
Moon and.
little segments between the
Mm.
anime.
Yeah, then we have you have your breakfast host. Hey kids, check out this latest thing from Kellogg's Cocoa Pops.
They're great. You know, Tony the Tiger fucking talks in full sentences now.
What?
I saw a commercial the other day. He's like fully animated and he speaks. I was like, I thought he only knew 2 words, but apparently he can speak now, and it's fucking weird.
That is weird. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, you got to look it up. It's weird.
Totally tangent. It has nothing to do with anything. But just Tiger just made me think of it. There was a product once that we got sold into our store, which is a wall patching tool. So it's a plastic tool that you can put into a hole in your wall, a hollow wall,
Yeah.
and then you can like put a piece of plasterboard in there, and then you pull the tool forward, and it holds it in place, so you can then patch over it with plaster. Yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah, those things.
Yeah, there's heaps of different versions of it. Anyway, I can't remember what the version of this is because I've been looking for it because it was a meme, all right? It had nothing. It was obviously imported, and it was obviously not legit in a lot of ways, but they had the guy from Wolf Creek in it, the Aussie actor. They had his face, took up half the packet, then it had a speech bubble next to it saying, filling holes quicker than a tiger can.
Ah.
And that's
What?
it. That's all it says. No
What does that
instructions,
mean?
nothing. It's obviously some kind of like
The
translation
fairies
issue.
would have had like a field day with that. It's,
It's just, but it's the guy from Wolf Creek. You don't want him filling your walls.
hold on, let me Google him. I gotta figure out if I want him filling.
What does that mean though? Faster than a tiger can?
Nothing. This is all right.
What?
We used to play a game. This is going way back when I first started in Melbourne, and we had plenty of staff, and life was good. People paid for overpriced goods because there was no Amazon, all that sort of stuff. But we used to import
Good
shit.
days.
So like, if we sold a pair of pliers, it cost us $10. We'll sell them for $20, and then we could find a way to import it for $2, but still sell it for $20. We would. That's the way that we ran the business model. We just rip everyone off. But there was translation issues always, but you wouldn't notice it. So we used to play a game where we try and I would say to the guys, I'm like, try and find the worst translated packaging. And there was one that was chalk powder. Except when you actually stopped and read it, like look at the letters and read it, and don't just sort of glance at it and saw it's chalk powder. And it actually says cork pounder. And there was so many of them, and it's just like they look right because you see the product and you see the word next to it, so your brain says it says this, but when you actually look at the spelling, it is not good.
Oh no.
It's just absolutely not good. But yeah, there was heaps, but pounder was always the one that got me. I'm like, would you like some pounder? Would you want the bit? But I wish I could find the brand of this. I want the packet that has the guy's face in it, so I could send it to the guy and say, "Did you? Is this you? And what does it mean?"
So how do the tigers do nowadays?
Patching holes like a tiger.
I don't. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the day and just be like, "What does it mean?" And it's gonna be one of those Black Ops references. It's like,
What do they
numbers,
mean?
Mason?
Numbers.
What do they mean?
I was convinced I would find it somewhere, but I've done extensive Googling. I've spent way too much time in my life looking for this damn packet.
Before we stray too far away from it, it's on my mind, so I want to say it because we're talking of Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Trix cereal out in
No.
Australia?
No.
Do you know what it is?
I know it from the memes that Family Guy does.
Isn't
Tricks
it
are
the
for
one
kids.
with like the marshmallow?
Yeah, Trix. Yeah, Trick. No, that's Lucky Charms.
Yeah,
No.
it's Lucky Charms.
Tricks are
Oh.
it's like fruit shaped, and they all each one had a different taste, and I think it was called Berry Blast or something. Was
Yeah,
like the
I
best
think we can get
flavor.
it from that American supermarket down here.
Okay, so the whole their motto was Tricks are for kids, and throughout all the commercials, the bunny rabbit, which I don't actually know what his name is, he would try to get himself a bowl of Tricks, and then the Tricks would take it, and the kids would take the Tricks from him, like, ah ha ha, silly rabbit, Tricks are for kids.
Yeah, that's right. That's the meme.
So nowadays, Tricks, they don't look the same as they used to, and they don't everything tastes the same.
It's
so
probably because it
it's-
was 99% sugar in the past, and they found that it kills kids.
My conspiracy theory is that the reason why they doesn't taste the same or look the same, it's because I'm not a kid anymore, and Tricks are for kids.
You think you
That's
grew
all I
out of the
wanted to say.
taste? You grew out of the cat.
Yeah, I'm not a kid anymore, and they're only for kids. That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, go eat your cornflakes.
No,
It's
Why would I
your
eat corn
No,
flakes?
oatmeal brand. Oat
my
brand.
cinnamon toast crunch or fruity pebbles. I'll have you. know.
Special K.
There's
Go have the
something,
Special K.
and there's something about American cereals and Americans that they.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not.
what?
It's not a bad thing. But when you go to the because like I mentioned, we got an American supermarket down here which just imports like the lines that sell the best, But it's got
Right.
like fucking 2 aisles of cereal.
Yeah, we have a lot of cereal, different brand. Well,
When
not
I-
different brands because pretty much I think there's 2 or 3 companies that pretty much own everything, but there's a lot of different kinds of cereal.
So I asked the person that was working there once, I'm like, wow, it's because the place is literally a third of its cereal. And I said to him, I said, wow, they, guys really like their cereal. And she was like, oh, there's something about it, like Americans can't live without their cereal. They're nostalgic for it. Like once they get on their cereal, they're on it for life, sort of thing. And we get people coming in requesting all sorts of things all the time. They're like, "Oh, I really want this and that and whatever." It's just they've just been bringing them in to appease the people. But it's like your cereal's. Well, actually, no. It's pretty. I was going to say it's not that different from what we have as our cereal, but there is definitely. We don't have Trix or marshmallows.
There's some American cereals that I really want to try. I have a list.
You have a list?
Yeah, I have a
Oh,
list.
I want to hear this list.
I want to try Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Best cereal ever fucking made.
Okay.
And if you take Fireball and rum chata, the liquors, and mix them together, tastes just like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
All right, I'll get some liquor. What's the other? Applejack?
Those are delicious, yes.
Yeah, okay. And what was the last one?
They have got Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm having a look at it now. There's Oreos. Like it's Oreo cereal.
Cookie Crisp.
Oh my god.
Cookie Crisps are good. They're shaped like little fat cookies with chocolate chips on them.
Yeah,
They don't taste like chocolate chip cookies, though.
I won't be able to die until I have.
There's
those
honey
three cereals.
mold s'mores, Lucky Charms.
What was the motto? Cookie Crisp. That's what he said. He just emphasized the cookie.
You could have said that the
Colossal
motto was
Crunch.
anything, and I would believe you. You had like full power there to say whatever the motto was.
Fruity
No,
Pebbles.
I don't want to botch it. We're Americans. We take our cereal seriously.
It's Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles are good.
Yeah.
So
Golden Crisp.
we're almost at that time where the Halloween style cereals are coming, like the Frankenberry, the Blueberry, and the Count Chocula one.
All right, so
There's like
this is there's Captain Crunch peanut butter. There's Eggos.
peanut butter crunch. Yeah, Eggo cereal. I forgot about that. People would put in cereal.
There's a Crayola limited edition cereal, like the Crowns.
You just eat crowns.
I'm no window licker.
All right, here's for 10 points, Norstar. How much do you reckon a 10-ounce Trix cereal box goes for in Australia?
It's probably like, depending on where you go, $2 to $3 here. So I'm guessing probably at least $15 in Australia.
$15. You got it.
your influx in prices is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny when I can't even remember what it was. I think it was a podcast I was listening to, and they were making this whole argument about how America is this country that's different to everyone else. And they're painting it in a very like they think they're good, but really when you look at their values and stuff like that, it's not that good. Like this real negative tone. And I just kept thinking to myself, it's like, yeah, but then when you compare them on things like food, for example, they give giant portions at half the price. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Someone go figure out how they're doing that, so the rest of the world could figure out how to have that much food. The fuck? It's like...
I don't know. I don't know what the stats are now, but I know back in like World War II, our production rate for the country of stuff that we would actually make here was like high above 70%. And the last I looked, it was like a low 23% because we just outsource everything now.
Yeah,
we don't really make anything. We just we pay someone else to make it at a significant fraction of the price.
Yeah. I don't want to go too deep in this, but that's exactly the problem with the UK is they don't produce any of their own shit. So when the whole Brexit thing was like, we're gonna have a lot of trouble here because all their shit's imported, and then when they started closing borders for COVID and stuff like that, like it's unbelievable. And same with some Asian countries as well. Like Australia does a lot of exports to Asia. And when they can't do it, then they miss out on things that, like, we have heaps of, like fruits and vegetables and all that sort of stuff. We have stacks of that and meat. But
apparently, a lot of potatoes, but you can't own a bunch of it at one time.
Shelby. Oh, no, it's illegal. Yeah,
over 50 kilos, can't have it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. But anyway, I don't know how we got to cereal, but we're there.
What other things do you want to try? I want to try Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffies. So a lot of people love or hate the banana one, and I'm with it. Like the banana flavor, it's good, but it just leaves a really dry and weird aftertaste in your mouth.
Is it like banana Nesquik?
I'm sorry, what?
That's a UK thing. Yeah.
We have strawberry and chocolate.
That is you're treading on the line of where we very much disagree on things, and that is what Americans think chocolate is versus what Australians. And
American chocolate is so bitter, which is funny because there's like these stereotypes of Americans putting lots of sugar in their foods, but their chocolate is a lot more bitter than ours.
I don't like American chocolate.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
fuck.
I hate Hershey's chocolate.
We should
I
have.
can't do
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, okay.
I don't. I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but isn't like 50% of the listeners American? I wouldn't trash on us too much.
Yeah, okay. So there's a whole science behind it, but I forget about it. But there's an ingredient that's in American chocolates in particular that it gives that reaction to what you're saying, where it makes it like a bitter taste.
Yeah,
Mm.
Sort of
it's really weird, and it like
Yeah, there's a whole science. Look
with
it
the-
up. It's yeah, we're
with
not
the
experts.
banana
on it.
Laffy Taffy. It
It's
makes my lips dry afterward. It
Yeah.
makes my tongue feel weird, and I don't think it tastes good.
So-
but Laffy Taffy in general is really good.
the argument. And again, we're not experts, so I'm just going off the internet knowledge that I have known. So it's like my Facebook friend
Internet's
once told
always
me,
right.
But they were saying that the way that Americans in particular need to make their chocolate is they need to make their chocolate to travel, because America's a big fucking country, and where it's
Yeah.
made and where it's going to go and how long it's going to last and different climates and temperatures and all that sort of stuff. It's designed differently for that.
Everything
that's-
has to be preserved.
Where if you set them a block of Australian chocolate, good chance it's got to melt and just
Yeah,
break
that's,
down.
that's
I heard-
fair.
yeah.
I heard Australian chocolate has an ingredient in it because our climate's so warm that ours doesn't melt.
Ours
No,
definitely melts.
if you touch, let's pick on Cadbury chocolate, right? That shit
You know,
melts so quickly.
Biggie and I spoke about that the other day, how like your version of that and our version is a lot different.
Yeah, it's the only thing that we don't agree on is that what chocolate tastes like.
I mean,
Really.
in the chocolate defense, I don't really give a shit about chocolate unless it's a peanut butter cup from Reese's. Outside of that, I
But,
don't
like-
really eat chocolate.
I
Then
love
the-
Reese's.
Like that's been that way forever. But the idea now that the world's such a smaller world now, thanks to everything, online shopping and international shipping, all that sort of stuff. We have Reese's everywhere now. Like it's everywhere.
Reese's
Reese's.
is so good.
So we're adopting parts anyway. So it's no more. We'll do some research. We'll talk about chocolate proper in future. But there is something that you mentioned the other day that I want to bring up because I think it's a great fucking idea, and that's alcoholic iced tea. I think that's a fucking great idea.
I
Isn't
still
that
can't
what
believe
Long
you
Island
guys.
iced tea?
I can't believe you guys don't have twisted tea. Like it's so delicious.
Isn't that what a Long Island iced tea is? That's alcoholic
No,
tea.
no. First off, Shelby, Shelby, a Long Island iced tea is like
Shelby's
and
the
then
baby of the
alcohol
group.
is the rest.
Not
has,
a
like,
baby.
It has like I think like 12 different liquors
I'm
in it or
looking it up
something like
now.
that.
Yeah,
It's the
Lord.
best. It's the best bang for your buck when you go to the bar because like there's so much liquors that
Yeah.
they struggle to water it down.
that's why we're talking about we're basically talking about grabbing a Lipton iced tea and adding booze to it. At
Yeah,
this
pretty
point.
much.
Yeah, which is great. Okay, so
I
ready?
mean, with a little more pizzazz, but yeah.
You ready? So we've got an ounce of vodka, an ounce of gin, an ounce of white rum, an ounce of tequila, half ounce of triple sec, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, some cola for taste, and a lemon wedge. So that's 80% booze basically.
There's no actual tea in it.
There's no tea in it.
Nah.
I don't know if you went to that wedding in Sydney, but
I didn't.
every table had a jug of Long Island iced tea on it for free.
For free.
Oh, Poggies?
Everyone always did.
Oh,
I don't want to shit on the wedding or anything because I absolutely would have went, but just as a guest going to that wedding was going to be so fucking expensive.
Well, we
I,
didn't know what it was.
I couldn't imagine
what is
how
this?
much that wedding cost.
wait, you had to pay to go to someone's
No,
wedding?
like it because I live in Melbourne. This was in the middle of Sydney, so
Oh,
like
just travel costs.
just going there and accommodation and like getting to the wedding and just that alone would have been thousands of dollars.
Oh,
It's like nah, I'm good. I'm happy with $1,000. Happy weddings.
Pretty
and
sure people were drinking it and they didn't even know what it was.
yeah,
Until,
'cause-
yeah.
but
One of our cousins kind of
it
got deep
tastes
in it.
super sweet. Like
Mm.
it's like you can tell it's alcoholic, but it's still pretty sweet for what it is. But it's people don't realize how much alcohol's in it, and that's where the meme of people have a Long Island iced tea and just get smashed without knowing it comes
Yeah,
from.
we were
It's good.
Googling it and I'm like, that's got like 15 different liquors in it. And they're like, no way.
you know the last two weddings I went to that I was a part of the groomsmen, like the bridal party, it's like all that stuff. I had to get a tux and all that. The last two that I was a part of that, I was only in it because the first one is my cousin couldn't afford the tux, so my brother put me in, and then the next one was my best friend. His friend backed out, so he put me in.
Oh really?
So that just goes to show you that
Always
you
second
know,
pick.
yeah, I'm I'm always in the crowd, never a groomsman.
I went to a wedding who was a friend of mine who I knew through my partner at the time, and it just I wanted nothing to do with the wedding. I just wanted to turn up, right? I just turn up, drink, because every time I get invited to a wedding, it's usually, oh, can you come to the wedding? And then it's followed by, you film, and take photos or do, I'm like,
Oh,
it's always
yeah.
that, right? So anyway, it started because this is it goes on. It just keeps taking a turn. This right. It started about 2 weeks out from the wedding, where my partner had been told to go buy orange shoes for the bridal party. 2 weeks out, couldn't find orange shoes anywhere, and we're talking like fucking like bright orange shoes. So
Well, of course you can't find it.
so then she came home with white shoes, and she's like, "You can paint these, right?" And I'm like, "Me can paint these? Is that what you're saying?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, but there's a method to it. It's going to take a few days at least, and we're already 2 weeks out." She's like, "Well, I've already purchased the shoes, and I can't get the orange ones." I'm like, "All right,
Well.
So I remember going to the hardware store at like 10 o'clock at night and buying paint. My hardware store closed at a reasonable hour, so it wasn't my hardware store. I went to someone else's hardware. And I remember I was getting the paint, and there was people lined up there and getting served by some kid, and the paint advice was bad. So as soon as the kid like turned his back, I'm like, "You don't want that one. You want this one over here." It's like, so trust me, he's giving you bad advice. Anyway, so I ended up painting these shoes and whatever, and then that followed up with, "Can you like come with us down to?" They were all staying in this huge holiday mansion before the wedding, and like just stay with the bridal party for the week leading up to the wedding, so that I can help and make sure the shoes are good and all that stuff, whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care. I'll bring my Game Boy or whatever." Anyway, that turned into she was doing everything herself. She was making her wedding dress herself. She was doing the flowers, everything herself, all the bridesmaid stuff. She was just hand making it, and she'd done none of it a week out of the wedding. So she's just going wild doing this. And she's like, "Okay, we're going to go on this day and we're going to go get the flowers and everything else." And we got the flowers, and then she was like trying to arrange it, just getting all frustrated. And I'm like, "Well, I'll show you what I would do color-wise." And I did it. She's like, "That's perfect. Your flowers now." She's like, "You need to make like 20 of these." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm sitting there making the flowers and everything else. And then she goes, "Hey, can you film the wedding?" And I'm like, I don't really see it. I'm like, "All right, fine, whatever. I don't give a shit at this point." And there was one bonus. The one bonus was that I got to go with the bridal party for their like pamper day, the day before the wedding, which was at the hot springs with like a full fucking just all you can drink and eat, everything else. That was great. That was really fucking relaxing, actually. I still feel relaxed when I think about it. She made like she nailed everything, right? She made the dresses, and I made the flowers and the shoes and something else, and filmed it all, and it was all at a nice winery, and they didn't skimp on the food and the drinks. She's like, "Oh, the one thing I want is like the good shit to drink. Like they can drink whatever they want from the bar. They'll have proper meals come out and everything else." And I remember it was fine. Like I did all my bits and I was done. So then I was just sort of winding down, drinking a lot, and we're actually staying at that point. With the wine bar had a hotel behind it as well. So everyone in the wedding party had rooms all booked there. So I was literally drinking at the bar, 10 meters from my room. So I'm like, "Look, even if I can't walk anymore, I'll make it," So, and they called drinks at about midnight. And I said to the barman, I said, "Can I have a couple roadies, to take with me?" And he just goes, like, "Just some for the road,
Oh,
Yeah. And he said, he just looked at me. He's like, "I don't care." So I grabbed 4 bottles of champagne. And I just took them to my room, and then I invited all these other random people that I'd met from the thing, and there was like 20 of us sitting in this hotel room, which was tiny, just drinking champagne all night. It was great. And then they gave us breakfast. But it was just like, I wanted minimal involvement, and then somehow I was involved.
All the involvement.
I was in all the involvement.
I was always that person for like my friends, and then the people who barely even knew me when I was doing my photography stuff and I had my own business. They were always like, "Oh, you want to come to our party? Like whatever. Oh, can you bring your camera with you?" They were always inviting the camera and not me.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I just started rocking up without it, and people
Well, at least
stopped
this
inviting me
day,
to things real fast.
These days, it's like, well, every cunt's got a phone in their pocket. It's got a camera in it, all right? So I'm not the only person who owns a camera. And you can shoot 4K 60 frames a second on most of your latest freaking phone cameras. So no.
Oh, ray tracing?
Well, they're HDR.
I'm talking, this is like 2012, 2013, 2014.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking
Before
about.
ray tracing.
Yeah. But I've also been the person, like, I've never been a bridesmaid, not even for my brother's wedding, because I think my sister-in-law hated me at the time. She might still, I don't know. But I always end up being that person who has to do something to like fix something on the day, like bridesmaid duties, but without being a bridesmaid.
That reminds me. Continue. I got a story.
Last wedding I went to, like, none of the bridesmaids knew how to, like, fix the bride's makeup, help the bride go to the bathroom, bustle her skirt when she was ready to dance. I had to do all of that.
Why does she need help going to the bathroom? Like getting the dress up?
Isn't that
getting the dress up.
Bloody big.
Isn't that the maid of honor's job?
I don't know where the maid of honor was.
But that's their job, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the job.
Yeah, they're
You have
supposed to
lift
handle
the
all
dress.
the big stuff.
Yeah,
You gotta
all that
lift the
shit.
dress and help the bride pee, but that was my job.
I have 2 stories now.
Okay.
First
So wait,
one,
if you're the best man, do you have to help the groom pee?
You have to hold
Like,
it and shake.
Oh, well, okay, then I've been doing it right the whole time.
no, I'm pretty sure it's the best man. You just shove more beer down his throat, don't you?
Yeah, and then you have to hold it for him. 'cause
Then you
I use
hold
the
it for
bathroom
him.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I've been doing it right the whole time.
You got to hold it up for him when he has the activities later.
I remember when I went to my best friend's wedding, it was open bar, so we got drunk as shit at the wedding. And then I went to a bar afterward, and when they got home, because I was staying at his house that night, but I was like, I'm going out, I'll be back later. It's like, okay. And he was drunk, like we were feeding him drinks. And it's like late at night, and his wife had called me. She says, when are you coming back? I was like, I don't know why. I said, because he's just screaming your name, and he won't stop. He misses you. I'm like, well, I'll be home soon.
So I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, but my best mate from high school, when he got married, he just had no understanding of how weddings happen. So it ended up being at a dirty pub on a Sunday next to the pokey machines. Basically, it's a whole thing. I'm still trying to get him on the podcast. Yeah, sorry.
I think you've told us about that before.
Yeah, I have. So, but the funny bit was that once it all wrapped up, because it's kind of casual, right? We all just rocked up to the pub. They did their thing. Everyone got married. All that stuff. And then we're like, the rest of us, the rest of the group who had reformed for the first time since high school. We're like, oh well, we'll hang around. We'll get a Palmer, maybe play some, play some friggin' pokies or whatever. And then the groom comes over. He's like, yeah, that sounds good. And we're like, not you. You got to go home with your wife. He's like, oh.
Oh my god! I know you're talking about
This is bullshit.
Oh man, it was so funny. It was the funniest moment. It was at that point we realized he didn't know what was going on, even though he organized it all. Because the only reason we had it near the pokers was because he thought that you have to get married on a Sunday, and that was the only thing open.
Oh my god!
Anyway, but that's that. You know what? For what that was, it was a great wedding. I had a lot of fun. So
it's simple, it's fun, it's cost effective. Like that sounds like a good idea.
So on the flip side, let's talk about a wedding that's in the middle of fucking nowhere. And this is a great story. Don't spoil it, Trash. But basically, there's a mountain formation in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. Let's call it. It's
All
very
of Australia, pretty much bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah. But this is like mountain ranges, right? In the middle of nowhere, and then in the middle of the mountain ranges is where these people decided to have their wedding. Now, there's not much in the middle there. There's a winery that has like 3 rooms, and then there's a couple like cabin park places that you can stay and rest and whatever. So when I say we're having a wedding here, then we only have a couple places to choose as sleep, right? And of course, they asked me to come film the damn thing, so I'm coming along. It was how hot was it? 40-something degrees Celsius.
Not bad.
It was like
45-ish
touching. They had a pool. There was a pool,
Yeah.
not for the cameraman. Fuck him, you know. But look, it was very.
America, that's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for all you Americans.
It's hot, and when it gets to 40, that's when the UK cries out heat wave. When it gets to 47 out here, they just drink more booze. So it was fine. It was at a mini winery thing. The views were stunning. There's no town there. It's basically like it's just holiday stuff, right? So the wedding was fine. I got dehydrated as fuck because it was so hot, and I had to film everything, so I couldn't like just go to the bar and drink because I had to film everything, and I needed photos of all the beautiful trees and the landscape. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, so because it's in the middle of nowhere, as soon as it gets down to dusk, like getting dark, you can no longer leave that part of the ranges because there's so many kangaroos on the road. You're guaranteed to hit one because they just come out
What's
at
wrong
night.
with that?
Hit multiple ones that will kill your car and maybe you.
Yeah, but there's a
Right,
chance
right,
you kill the
Farah.
kangaroos, and that's a win.
There's more
But that-
kangaroos than
but
cars.
In killing the kangaroo, though, your car will die.
Your car dies no matter what.
It's like hitting a moose.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're big boys. So
Well, so that's how it is here. Like, it's just deer, not kangaroos.
yeah. So but imagine like the dearest deer country. This is the kangaroo country, all right? And
Okay.
so there's literally signs saying don't drive at night, basically. Or if you're going to drive at like 1/10 the speed limit with your high beams on and you head out the window.
Yeah, we have deer crossing signs like that.
So everyone was staying in this town. It's not even a town. It's like literally 2 cabin parks or whatever. Now, let me describe this cabin park for you as it was described to me. Log cabins out in I think it's national park lands. Comes with a swimming pool and airstrip for your airplane. I'm like, wow, fancy, right? So the airstrip was just a big piece of land where you could probably land a plane if you tried. I don't remember seeing a pool. I don't think it was operational. We didn't have any drinking water in our cabin because we just didn't. So you had to go like walk out in the bush, find this other cabin, get water. And that's all fine. And the only thing is there's no air conditioning really at all or anything to keep you cool. And also the building's so hot, it thinks it's on fire. So the hardwired smoke alarms don't stop because they constantly think they're on fire because they're temperature driven and it's that hot. So the only option that we have to not have the smoke alarm going off is to have no power, which means absolutely no chance of a fan or anything to keep you cool. Add to the fact that we're all drunk and just come from a wedding and already had like heat stroke. We had to go lay in a room. Then it was over 50 in the room easily and just die inside and outside. That was it. But I heard that because it was, like I said, there was 2 options, right? That was option A. Option B had bed bugs.
There were bugs everywhere, though. Like,
no, but they actually had bed bugs. They got shut down.
Yeah. I just remember seeing the windows covered in bugs.
But the wedding was beautiful, right?
It really was good, actually.
It was a fucking nightmare for the guests, though, in general.
Nowhere to stay.
Nowhere to stay, trapped, couldn't leave. I remember we like got up early and we're just like, I want to leave. just go.
I remember I got quite sick. Yeah. And some other people were quite sick too. And I think it was food poisoning, but we just weren't coping.
Probably just heat stroke.
It's just heat stroke, probably.
For me, it was
Little
like,
column A, little column B.
Just it was just a bad time for everything. There was nothing good about anything else apart from the wedding. And I'm sure the guests that stayed at the venue with the swimming pool and the bar, they had a very wonderful time. But that wasn't us.
They definitely did.
I remember someone had bad hay fever. Their eyes were all puffy. I had a bad food reaction. So I couldn't eat anything. I was in pain. Like, everything got to all of us, and we're like, stuff this, we're going back to the city.
Yeah. There's this perception of like country living in Australia, and they look at like Crocodile Dundee and the movie Australia and stuff like that.
Mate.
And they're like, oh, look at that. They're just out on the ranch, the good kangaroos. They're cute. Go to the bar and have beer. It's like, yeah, it is sometimes like that. But it's also harsh living in general. And there's a reason why, particularly people out in the country, they'll make sure they have a working air conditioner or a swimming pool or, a rainwater tank, stuff like that, because it can be very harsh.
When we were doing yesterday, we were doing the ORP watch party in the ORP Discord. Krillin had stated something about like the high majority of your country just lives on the coast.
Yeah.
And pretty much no one lives everywhere else.
Yep.
80% of our population are coast.
There's literal roads in like northwest Australia that'll be like, I hope you got food and water because it's going to be days before you see something else.
Oh.
Literally.
Yeah.
And
who would choose that?
No, people don't live there. That's just how they get from A to B. It's and there is still an indigenous population that will live out in there with, bugger all amenities. And
Have you heard about the underground houses in Cuba,
Mm.
Of
course he hasn't.
I don't know any of those words.
Cuba is like it's a very inland town that was famous for opal mining, but now like all the residents live underground in houses they've just hollowed out of the ground in caves.
That's a solid point, right, Norstar? Everyone lives on the coast, and most major towns that are inland are either farming, like big farming communities, or they are mining. for either gold or opals or so on, and that's where those towns came from.
I mean, yeah. Without that, what other reason would you be there?
That's it. That's all it is. Coal mines, gas mines, farms, cotton farms, livestock, you name it. That's the only reason why. No one's going out into the middle of the desert going, I'm going to build a town.
Yeah.
Like
I can understand if you're in the middle of the woods, but not desert.
Yeah, so like where I grew up, it's very, very far. It's 600, 700 kilometers from here. And it's but it's right on the banks of a big natural water source that they do a lot of farming off. And then from that, that it just grew out from that. So it does a lot of veggies and fruits and all that
Orange
sort of
World.
stuff. It does Orange World, exactly.
Yeah. What
So-
else do you need?
But so then like you go to other towns like there's like Broken Hill, for example. There's fucking nothing at Broken Hill, but that was a mining town. They had gold there once. Not so much now, but the people are still there and they have their land and whatever. They're mainly like sheep
Still a
and stuff.
mining town, I think.
To a degree, not like it used to be. Like places
Oh,
like
okay.
Ballarat and Bendigo, which are not too far from Melbourne, they were like, not only were they like gold rush towns, like people went there and they fought each other for the gold. So it's a whole,
Like they dueled.
as in like there'd be so much gold and so many people digging up gold that there'd be people going up there, criminals like bushrangers and stuff like that, who would go up there for the sole purpose of knowing that they could, roll some folks for some gold. And the whole thing.
Well, they could never take office.
Thank you,
So
Shelby.
massive amounts of people migrated to Ballarat
Yeah.
for the gold rush, including lots of people from China and also I think the Netherlands had a lot of people come across as well.
Yeah.
And so in moving to those areas, they also had to create like a stop between
They added
Ballarat
train
and Melbourne,
lines.
so
They added
people could.
banks.
No, hold on. So people could sell their gold in Melbourne, but this is before trains, so they actually had to have a place to rest their horses at night, which is where my hometown was founded.
There you go.
This is the exact stop between point, and there's still a massive pub in the middle of town that has stables.
There you go.
That's cool.
So yeah, but I don't want to go. It's like we can go right into depth of it, but basically everyone lives on the coast, or they have a reason to live inland. That's pretty much it. Because like Melbourne gets hot maybe a couple, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the year. Where I grew up, it gets hot 3 months of the year. And then it only gets worse. So you keep going inland. So
Up north, it gets cold for 3 weeks of the year.
and then if you go right up north and like northwest, it gets wet for 3 months of the year.
Mm.
And apparently that's the worst thing. From anyone who's told me going up there for the wet seasons, like if you don't know what you're in for, it's not worth being there. Because when I say wet, not just rain, but just like so humid that it's just wet in general.
Sort of point out something else.
Shrek's gonna be in your pants arguing about whose swamp it is.
Yeah.
We're just talking about Cuba PD, and I want to take like a segue here to Vin Diesel.
Wait, these houses look cool.
Pitch Black was filmed in Cuba PD,
Yeah.
and you could still visit the sets there. There's like the crashed spaceship and everything is still
Well,
there.
I mentioned Broken Hill. That's where Mad Max is filmed. So if you've seen Mad Max, that wasn't a CGI storm. That just happens,
Oh, that's just Australia.
Yeah. Happy
I'm joking. They're not as bad as that movie, but they are pretty fucking bad.
They're pretty bad. That meme with the doggo coming over the town with the giant dust storm, that was real. And that was here.
Yeah, I
Ghost
know.
Rider was filmed in my hometown, so we had Nick Cage chilling there for a while, and then Charlotte's Web was also filmed there.
Ghost Rider was filmed in Melbourne as well.
What was the pig's name? Was it Abner?
In Charlotte's Web.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't watched that movie in forever.
I think that was his name, right? Anyway, not important.
Not important. Well, I don't know why you were thinking about the pig in Charlotte's Web.
I don't know. I like bacon.
I know that I like bacon too. No, you totally threw me off.
You know who loves bacon? Zombies.
Oh my god! Anyway,
Got him.
Let's change the fucking. Let's change the. You've lost. I've lost all train of thought now. Completely gone.
Caught you off guard, huh? Yeah.
Put me completely off guard. No.
So let's talk about tap strafing.
Sure, no.
So have you seen? So the patch notes for Apex's most recent
Oh,
update,
he was
which
serious.
I thought that it was live, but I watched Timmy before, like way earlier, and I saw him tap strafe, and as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, they didn't remove it. And then I realized that I don't think the update is actually pushed through yet.
No,
I
it's in
thought
the
they were claiming they removed it,
next update,
but then they
whatever it
didn't.
is.
And I was like, oh, get fucked, Respawn. But no, yeah. But they actually they made a lot of changes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and to my point, and I think they're actually doing what I said last week, which is they've already pissed everyone off, so we might as well just burn it all and start again because they're
pretty
changing
much.
so much stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might say something a little bit controversial for you, but I think you agree, Norstar, all right?
Okay, I'm listening.
Because you've left Apex basically, right? You're playing Destiny 2. Yeah.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future, yeah, I'm off Apex.
I feel like Destiny 2 needs to burn it all down and start again.
I fucking agree.
There is some broken shit in that game, and it doesn't make sense.
Really broken.
Like
what I can do with my Titan right now after finishing this build, it's so stupid.
So for those, when did Destiny 2 come out? And I know that they had a thing that they posted today, which was 7 years of Destiny in total.
I think we're on year 4 or 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming up.
I think it's about 5.
So last year was the big purge when they sunsetted in inverted commas, sunsetted a lot of items to balance their future whatever. But they've added like this end game tier, which is farming exotics, adjusting them with mods, whatever you want to call it. But it's like a multiplier. Essentially, it's like a damage multiplier. It's like, hey, if you want to grind an extra 20 hours this week and find these 3 items and then put them all together on this thing and combine it with that, then you're guaranteed to do 5 times the amount of damage that you used to do. But then,
more than that.
Yeah, but then the enemies don't scale. So I was playing games today where there was literally enemies that would normally take us 5 minutes to kill that are getting melted in 20 seconds. Yeah. And I was just going, oh, we're not even playing the game anymore.
Like there's not a lot of content going either. So like on top of the broken shit, it's like once we get all this stuff, what's there to do?
Well, that's the thing. So it used to be that you grind the raid each week and you get what you can and climb towards getting to the next tier of enemy. But like once you break through to the broken mechanics, you're unstoppable and there's nothing to fight for anymore.
Yeah, it should not be this easy. Like I went right now, as it stands, after we've been playing for 2 weeks now,
basically, the new season that started.
I have my Titan's like a 1333 or 34 or something like that. My Warlock at its highest capability right now is like closing in on 1330, and then my Hunter is 1320, and the cap without the artifact is 1330. Yeah. I should not be able to do all this in a matter of 2 weeks.
It's 1320 without the artifact. Oh, sorry, that's soft cap for 20, and then hard cap 30. Yeah. So, but
like it's
not only
ridiculous.
that, it's the longest season. This season lasts until February next year. So it's
nothing new came out with the new season.
Besides, only like gear and weapons,
minor things.
Yeah.
And like Iron Banner didn't release anything new besides 2 weapons.
As much as the next season looks good, the broken mechanics are still here unless they sunset stuff. Which I don't think they can do at this point now. They would have had to tell us by now that, hey, this is what's coming up. Because they've already sort of sold us the pay for the next package deal. Which makes me just... in. So, it's, again, comparing where Apex was when we were playing it flat out a couple months back, we were in a nice, comfortable spot where we felt that we had everything we needed, the setups, the lineups, or whatever, to be competitive in the game. And we were doing pretty good in general. We still hate ourselves, but we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Destiny is definitely at that point now where if you grind enough, you can be stuff. Like, I'm not good at Destiny. I don't understand all the mods and shit, but I'm good.
I didn't until recently, but like after doing research, I understand the combos more, and it's so broken.
Yeah. So the only way that I can see that, and like the time is right. Destiny 3 is what they should be doing. Like the time is right for a Destiny 3.
So
we're going to get one? Probably no.
I'll break down a quick version of my Titan build that I have. So I have the Curus of the Fallen Star that does more damage for my super, like a lot more. Like last week's Nightfall, I could melt that boss.
Yeah.
So I have well mods to go with it, plus being charged with light. You can only be charged with light twice. Yeah. But now I have the supercharge mod, which Ada had, and that's the last mod I was waiting for. So I can be charged 4 times. I can have 4 charge light 4 times 4. And every time I pick up a well, I become charged with light. And whenever I get a finisher, I get 2 wells. And that increases my ability cooldown, or it decreases it, I should say. But then I can also become charged with light with power orbs of power. So I can get charged with light really quickly. And with another mod that I have is whenever I use my grenade, my super goes up based on how many
So it's
stacks of charge with light I have. So I have 4 now.
yeah, it sounds like
And
an exploit, but it's not.
No, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
I can use my super, get 4 times charge with light really quickly, throw my nade, and pretty much be at 50% on my super.
Yeah. So this just reminds me of not last season, whatever season last time I was playing Destiny. It was me and Prats were playing it. I was trying to do a dungeon, and we were sucking. Like, we were bad at it. We shouldn't be doing Wonderlight, whatever. And I was streaming. This guy Joker comes in the chat, and he's like, "Yo, you good? You're trying to do this dungeon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're just sort of struggling, but we'll get it." He's like, "Do you want a hand?" And this was before crossplay. Crossplay is a thing too now, thank God.
Ooh,
And-
big thing.
And this guy's like, "Oh, I don't have it on PC. But show me your loadout." And he's like talking through the loadouts and stuff like that. He's like, "Oh, you really need to get this or get that or whatever." And he's trying to explain it. I don't understand. Right? I just do things. That's what I do with this.
Mhm.
I just do things.
Just do things.
So anyway, then he goes, "I just brought the DLC. I'm coming to help." I'm like, "Oh, okay, dude. You didn't have to do that." He's like, "No, I mean, I'll come and help." And this guy he's not set up in any way. And so he joined the Discord on his phone. And he was talking to us on the phone and stuff. And we said, "Oh, look, mate, I don't know if we're going to get this done." He's like, "Just sit in the corner. I can do it by myself." I'm like, "Oh, okay." so we tried to do it. We wiped the first time a couple times. It's like a time limit thing. You got to do X amount of damage within waves. And we're doing nothing. So he's like, change your build, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Okay, we changed it all." And we go and you do this boss. It's I forget what the dungeon at the tower is called, whatever it is.
No
one.
idea.
Anyway, the
Yeah, I don't know-
prophecy.
I don't know what it's
Prophecy.
called.
It's called the prophecy, whatever.
There you go. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
it.
So anyway, I get to the end of it. I've done 250,000 damage. I'm like, "Woo! Look at me go!" Because I did like 40 the time before that, and Prats did like 100,000 damage. I'm like, "Look at that!"
Nah, fuck off, Prats.
Yeah, and Joker did 2.6 million.
Oh my god.
It's just,
Oh.
I'm like, but how? And then that's where I learned that the mods in the end of the game breaks the game basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, Destiny
Certain
2 is fun.
exotics
There's
and
a
all
lot of
that.
people playing it at the moment. I can't see a lot of people playing it again in like a month. I think
I have one specific minor reason why crossplay is fucking annoying.
What's that?
So there's this one strike that just before you get to the boss room and you have to drop down,
Yeah.
a lot of times it bugs and 2 people cannot drop down and only 1 person does.
Oh, they get stuck
It
up.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens a lot. So how you have to fix it, we learned, Biggie and I did, is whoever dropped down, they just need to get to the checkpoint and then kill themselves and everything will reset.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that, you're stuck by yourself for a while trying to fight the boss. So I was typing to my fire team
It doesn't show up
because I'm on
console.
PC. Yeah, the one person that made it through was on console, so he wasn't seeing my chat. And I was trying to tell him what to do, and he couldn't see it. And I'm sitting there waiting, and then it's like I was tired of it, and I left. And that was fucking annoying
I don't know.
because I couldn't talk to him.
Is there like in-game chat, like voice chat? I don't know.
I have no idea, to be honest, but I don't even know if that would work.
My
with
console
the
mate
console.
messaged me and he's like, "Oh, Trials, which is the 3v3 competitive, basically ranked mode of Destiny, because your
Yeah.
level matters. They're like, there's matchmaking now." And I go, "Great, I can't wait to get shat on by randoms with randoms," which he just laughed. But then I thought about it. I'm like, there's a chance you'll get matched up against randoms. And if you, which is probably an advantage because that's sweaty gameplay at the most.
Yeah, I learned that when people can't communicate, Destiny is a completely different game.
Yeah, it is.
PvP wise.
There's people cried for the longest, like, "Why don't we have matchmaking for raids?" That's why. Because you try to tell people which order we have to shoot whatever the things we were shooting last week were. Like the communication was falling down and we're running into problems just with us who can communicate.
Yeah, imagine when you can't talk.
Imagine when you can't talk. People do it. Anyway, to your point
Just wanna
earlier.
let everyone know he plays Destiny 2 with a controller on PC.
Yeah, I'm a god. It's true.
It's true.
What I was going to say is that it's the same with to your texting. It's the same with Apex because I play on the PlayStation. We just crossplay. Yeah, I don't see the text chat. Like I just
Yeah, like that one time the one guy was just going off, and you're like, "Well, glad I can't see this."
yeah. Well, I didn't even know because I was just blissfully I play ranked as well. Just matchmake ranked, go for it, whatever. Just doing my own thing. I was doing all right. I'm not bad, but not bad at the game. I'm not godly. I'm playing the PlayStation for crying out loud. But it's
That's
like
Loba in Australia.
yeah, fucking oath. And then I remember I was playing a game. I think it was with Jelly, and Jelly's like, this guy's talking to you. I'm like, I can't see chat. And then she's like, oh. Then it hit me. I'm like, fuck, how many people have been talking to me? Like, how many times did I lober something from someone and then they got upset about it? And I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. And I'm like, I don't see it. It's a blissful life.
Worries.
And then, like, I was playing Final Fantasy 14 because, you know, why not get on the bandwagon, you know? And
Get that chocobo.
I'm just blissfully walking around going, enemy, press the button, shoot a weapon, press the button, hit him with a sword, da-da-da-da-da. And then Jelly, you can hear Jelly typing madly. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, oh, they're saying the tank's not pulling enough enemies. And I'm telling her, don't worry about it. He's new to the game. And I'm like, just ignore them. She's like, no, I'm not fucking ignoring them. They shouldn't be so fucking rude to new players. They're new players. They don't fucking know what they're talking about. And I'm just like, I'm just walking around hitting shit. I don't give a shit, right? They kicked her. They kicked her from the party for being toxic. Not me.
Oh, yeah, that happened recently, didn't it?
Yeah. So they kicked Jelly out for defending my honor, even though I gave no shit. So then I walked around for the rest of the game being really unhelpful, going, where's Jelly? Where is she? It's a little bit toxic, but whatever.
All right, I think we went on a tangent long enough about Destiny. I think we should get the ladies back in.
Oh, ladies here. Hi. Let's talk about Pokemon.
Huh? What?
Yeah, Pokemon cards.
Pokemon's taken over the world.
Yeah, what is this about? They have the license to print money?
They have the license to print fucking money. So what's the anniversary at the moment? The
25th.
25th.
Like Blue's Clues.
So it was Blues. Yeah.
So Pikachu didn't go to Afghanistan, but go on.
So there was a lot of talk earlier this year with Nintendo stuff in particular. They're like, oh, there's so many anniversaries coming up. They had the Mario 35th anniversary. They got Zelda's 35th anniversary and Pokemon's 25th anniversary. And I think Metroid's there as well. Something anyway. But so Pokemon's 25th anniversary, they're like, what are they going to do? New game, whatever. So they got some remakes coming. They've got their Pokemon Unite, which is basically a League of Legends clone. Well, it's probably better than League of Legends. It's more enjoyable, in my opinion. Less toxic. It's still a little toxic. But we've talked about that last week with Meech. And then they've got... So this week, they started ramping out all the stuff. Now, it reminds me a lot of Krusty the Clown from Simpsons. When they're like, Krusty, you've put your name on everything. The only thing you haven't put your name on is that Clown College. It's that episode, right? So that started off...
You would know better than me.
Yeah, so basically he's a sellout. So he sells... You can buy a Krusty everything, right? You can buy a Pokemon everything. It's the same thing. They sell their licensing to fucking everything. Where they used to be a little bit more like everything's Pokemon Company, that's it. Now there's half a dozen mobile games. There's, everything else. They had the start of the week with the Pokemon Krispy Kreme donuts, which were
so good.
delicious.
Pokemon, was anything special about them?
Just different flavors, like certain flavors for it. I kind of
They
wanted
had
the
like a
Squirtle.
white chocolate truffle icing.
Shelby grabbed the Squirtle, which was like a jam donut. I had the Charmander, which is it was an orange cream filled donut, and there was like a chocolate filled, just yum donut, just sugar buddy Pokemon, cool box, everything else.
Donuts. If you ever come to America and you go to the West Coast, go to Voodoo Donuts.
Voodoo Donuts, okay.
They make the off the wall donuts.
I've heard about
cereal
Voodoo
and all
Donuts.
that on it. So good.
Oh my god, let's stop.
They make a bacon donut, by the way.
I'm in.
Bacon.
I'm in. I've had a bacon donut before. Usually, anyway. So that's all fine. It's the internet's crazy for donuts in the best of times, but then you slap Pokemon on it, and then everyone's getting Pokemon donuts. And even in a pandemic where we're locked in, people can order donuts and get them delivered to their door in most metro areas. Anyway, so that's good. Had that. They came out saying that, and something that was already out in America has come and gone, is the Pokemon trading cards. Now, trading cards, as Trash will tell you, has already gone bonkers in the last year.
That's more bonkers.
I don't even know what the record is for what a Pokemon card sold for now.
Ridiculous amount of money.
I'm not sure if you know, but they are releasing a 25-year edition.
Oh yes, I do want to talk about this. Yes, so the highest sold Pokemon card is the shiny Charizard still, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
What's
that's
the highest price that's sold for?
Fuck.
Is it 500,000?
Yeah, more than that. I think it's nearly 1 point something now. Anyway, that comes from a very early. Is it the first run? First run of cards, yeah?
Yeah, first run.
And now they've got the anniversary pack coming out, which guess what? Has all those cards in it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Um,
the value is going to go down, but the scalpers are going to bet on the other way, I dare say. And
Well, the card's not going to be identical, but people are going to snap it up because it's like the original card. So it's going to have a 25th badge on it, where the originals will have a first badge.
there you go.
But it will still, be worth keeping for another 30 years.
I looked at that and I thought, if I wanted any, and this is just the old guy in me, but it's like, if I ever wanted Pokemon cards, I'd want the OGs, just in the same way that really only the Pokemon games I want to play are the real OGs. So like Yellow, Gold, that base first 2 generations, and like I remember the first generation of Pokemon cards. So when they said they're re-releasing them, I'm like, that sounds cool. I could get into that, but then at the same time, I don't want to compete with everyone else trying to get
They're
fucking
going to
things.
get crazy. I mean, there are still some available. The Super Special Edition, it sold out. At EB, it sold out before I even seen it. And then they did a rerun of pre-orders 2 weeks ago, and it sold out in less than a minute.
So right now you can go buy a platinum PSA 9 base set 1999 Pokemon Charizard for, is that 2.3 million? That's a lot of money. Okay, there's a lot here going. About $500,000. There's a few going for around $500,000 US.
So with the celebrations, there was some promo cards they're bringing out with that. One being the big Chonkachu, which people it was probably one of the hardest cards to pull out of the Vivid Voltage set. So everyone's going to just jump on that promo card because they missed out on it in Vivid Voltage. But they're also bringing out the base, so they're reprinting base sets with the 25th anniversary badge. They're also throwing in a gold card Shiny Mew, which a lot of people like collecting the gold special cards.
How much for a pack of cards?
It'd be normal.
What people that buy a box of, because people that are pulling cards normally buy the box, yeah? How much is it for a box of cards? I just want to know. I don't even know.
So this is a holiday set, so they're normally more expensive. And they average out to about $10 a pack.
And it's a box of what, 20?
ETB's normally a box of 10 packs with extra stuff. But they've got a heap of different boxes you can buy. But you can only buy the cards in boxes. You can't buy individual packs. Normally. I'm not sure what they're doing with celebrations. But normally they're more expensive because you can only buy them in boxes. And they usually come with promo cards or bits and pieces and stuff as well.
I'm just looking at just like a standard. There's a Sword and Shield trainer box coming up soon. They're $80, $90 for a box. And then there's a special edition box, $120.
Yeah. So normally the holiday sets, the ETBs will come with a promo card. So they are the $110 usually. And for regular sets that don't come with cards, they're about
Celebration box, you can get a special edition with a figure, $110.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strictly 10 per customer, right? No more than $1,000 on paper. Okay, guys?
Which is obviously too much.
Holy cow.
They're also I was just going to say the other draw card to this set is there's a lot of reprints of popular rare Pikachu cards like Flying Pikachu, Birthday Pikachu, a lot of promo cards that have been sent out over the years.
This one comes with the fat Pikachu figure.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I could have that. I'd get that boy. Fat boy.
There's some golden Pikachu cards too that they're in the super deluxe set that was like $250, which sold out.
Oh, I love that fat Pikachu statue. Man, I want that.
Sorry, I think he's a VMAX Pikachu. We should probably stop weight shaming.
It's fat Pikachu.
So the celebration thing's gonna fire things up again. They're already pretty fire, and I think a lot of it came from some big YouTubers who were doing some big pulls and spending some YouTube money on some cards. Let's not mention any names; they're not worth mentioning. And yeah, it's kind of nuts. So then, obviously, McDonald's now have got Pokemon cards on top of all that. Which I think Trash, you said you just went and brought some cards.
I did. Apparently, there's a two limit now today.
Yeah, how much did you pay for your cards?
$2 per pack, and I rolled up and picked up 10. So.
Interesting. And Shelby, you did the same thing. How much did you pay for your cards?
I paid for $4 a pack because they put it in the system as like extra Happy Meal toy, and I didn't have to buy the Happy Meals. But I just want to point out that Aladi showed up with Happy Meals 2 days in a row. The first day he got a bunch of NBA. I mean, not NBA. Fucking
no. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. It's been 3 days in a row, and I've had NBA toys the whole time. Bloody Space Jam toys.
I've heard a lot of people who are ordering deliveries
Getting
getting
Space
Space
Jam.
Jam toys,
Yeah.
and then they have to ask, and they'll get the Pokemon cards.
Yeah, so that's what I did delivery the first 2 times. Where today I went across the road to stretch my legs because I'm having some cabin fever problems at the moment, and
Try to sneak them out.
I
Sneak
went
out
out
the
and
old.
I just went and got some things. But oh my god, they were selling so many fucking Happy Meals, my dude. So and then on top of all that, Oreo will bring out Pokemon Oreos as well to celebrate. So it's
Do they have
like
Pokemon faces on the.
I have fucking
cookies?
no idea. They did an ad where it's animated Pokemon, but it's made out of Oreos. So I don't know. It's whatever.
Wild.
So it's like Pokemon went out and sold their franchise, their licensing to all these different companies to make all this different shit to come out all at the same time to create a buzz around this. Their game comes out in a month, just over a month, which is a remake. They got a new game that comes out in January. They're adding new shit to Unite every day. That just moved from being a Switch-only console game to being a mobile game as well. So you can get that on your Android devices. I think Apple's coming soon. It's a lot. And then there's a Netflix-made movie, which is based on the games, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think the first episode came out yesterday.
yeah. And then on top of all that, you can now stream all of Pokemon on a Switch app. So it's like Netflix, but it's free. And you just watch all of Pokemon, which used to be, and Amazon had the licensing for that. And Netflix used to have 1 or 2 seasons. Anyway, so to my earlier point, Pokemon are printing money. And they're not actually doing much. They're just sort of selling Pokemon to everything. And they're doing their own thing. So having said that, Pokemon is the #1 brand in the world. They are the biggest.
Safe to say.
No, it's not safe to say. It is proven. They are the #1 everything in the world.
Wow.
Brand, licensing, everything. And number 2 is Hello Kitty.
Wow.
Fuck yeah. I got a Hello Kitty alarm clock.
Number 3 is Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, wow.
And
Winnie
then,
the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. And then it's Mickey Mouse and Friends, and then it's Star Wars, and then it's Disney, and then Marvel.
Wow.
So like the Disney conglomerate's not even in the top 3. So they're close. When you combine them all together, if you combine Disney as a conglomerate together, that'd be #1, probably close. But Pokemon at 105 billion total revenue, right? And then they break it down. Licensed revenue is 81 billion alone. That's not even their stuff. That's selling their licensing. It's $81 billion. Video games come in at 23 billion. Their box office at 2 billion. Home entertainment, which is like the TV show and stuff like that, it's 144 million. They made 3 million in selling Pokemon themed aircrafts.
I did see those.
So when you think about a company that can create a piece of paper that's worth $1 million, yes, they have a license to print money.
Well,
Ridiculous.
this is like their bonus stuff. So they're still running their regular stuff. Like there's still a regular Pokemon movie coming out this month. There's still it was a regular set of Pokemon cards.
The point is,
today.
they made 105 billion. 81 of that they didn't even do anything. They just sold the name to them. That's what I want to do. I want to create something that I don't have to actually do anything. I just say, look at this picture. You too can use this picture for millions of dollars. That's literally what they're doing. It's amazing. You've made nothing.
And they're an old company too.
Yeah, so established in 1996. But I mean, if you look at Hello Kitty, it was established in 1974. Winnie the Pooh, and this is where Winnie the Pooh's up there, was established in 1924. So Winnie the Pooh has racked up nearly $80 billion in retail merchandise.
How?
I've been going for 100 years.
Sure.
But like, as of late, like I forget who Winnie the Pooh is half the time.
I mean,
He
yeah.
really made his money.
Yeah. I mean,
It was big.
they went live action, didn't they? They made a Pooh movie, didn't they?
Yeah,
Sure.
That was good,
James
not
Corden
Pooh.
in it or something? I don't know. Probably James Corden.
Yeah. What? No, wait. That's a different one, isn't it? Or is it?
No, that's Peter Rabbit.
That's Peter Rabbit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about if I look at all these brands, obviously Star Wars for me, Pokemon for me. Like I didn't buy a lot of Pokemon merch. I did buy some. I brought a fair bit of Star Wars stuff over the years. And I know that was always a thing for Star Wars, right? The distribution, the publishing, all that stuff, like the actual movies, George Lucas didn't give a shit about that. Like who owned it, made it, run it, whatever. But he held on to a good, significant portion of the merchandise sales rights. So, and like that's sitting at $43 billion already. So like he was a clever man because they did not make that much in box office. So they got that. But it's wild when you look at the fact that Like Star Wars, I forget how much Star Wars sold for, but I think the Marvel stuff sold for like 4 billion, and that's already racked back 23 billion in box office alone to Disney. But yeah, Pokemon's nuts. You think about how many people play Pokemon or like know about Pokemon or love Pokemon. It's not like particularly for us. It was big in Western sort of countries and stuff like that, but like to a certain demographic, it's not like Nana's not watching Pokemon, you know.
Right.
But Nana might know what a Hello Kitty is because
Maybe.
there was enough ads and whatever else, and it's like, oh, that's what they played. And in a certain way, in the same way that a lot of older people are like, oh, instead of saying that's a games console, they say that's your Xbox or that's your Nintendo. You know, they just associate it with the brand.
Right.
Pokemon is making a lot of money out of a niche, basically, which is nuts. It's crazy. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I just want to bring it up. It's their anniversary. You're seeing their shit everywhere now, and like got to believe Pokemon made nothing. They're not making money out of Krispy Kremes. They made the licensing fee, and that's it. They took that to the bank. They're not making the donuts. They're all just
So many
sitting.
people, trash them or say they don't know what they're doing, blah blah blah, and it's like they can literally do whatever they want.
Yeah, they can do what they want.
And that's what they've always done.
If I go further down the list past Marvel, you go Mario, Wizarding World, Harry Potter, Transformers, Spider-Man, Batman, Dragon Ball, Call of Duty, Barbie, Gundam, Toy Story, Cars, Lord of the Rings, Yu-Gi-Oh, Peanuts, Dora the Explorer, The Simpsons, Lion King, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. I don't even know what Dungeon Fighter Online is. Pac-Man.
What?
Dungeon Fighter Online. It's a computer game worth $16 billion, apparently.
That's a lot.
It's run by Tencent. What a surprise. Pac-Man, Avengers, Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is low. SpongeBob's is right next to Looney Tunes. James Bond, Frozen, Space Invaders, Warcraft, Sailor Moon, League of Legends, the Wii, Nintendo Wii series games. It's just Wii Sports, I think, and maybe like Wii Fit.
That was so niche.
Wii
I feel like
Music.
gamers didn't really like Wii.
FIFA's sitting down here at $12 billion. Final Fantasy, another $12 billion.
Why is that up there?
Grand Theft Auto, close to $12 billion as well. Star
It's
Trek.
like always the top game every week on
Candy
on
Crush at
PlayStation.
$10 billion. Angry
Oh,
Birds.
that's a lot. That's a lot of.
That's a lot of. It's a lot of candy.
Yeah.
Wow, Battlegrounds is up here at nearly $9 billion. That's nuts. Pirates of the Caribbean, Clash of Clans sitting at $8 billion. That's Clash of Clans is more than Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is sitting. People always compare Sonic to like Mario and stuff. They're not close to each other at all. Like Sonic's sitting at 8. What's Mario? Mario's sitting at where was it? Up here somewhere. Mario's sitting at 35 billion.
Oh, God.
So this is nuts. So anyway, it's always interesting to put a perspective on some of these things because some people they get very caught up. Like Sonic's a great example. Actually, they get very caught up in like it's Sonic. How can they get Sonic wrong? It's the he's the blue blur. He's the got to go fast. He's part of all the memes and all this stuff. He's huge. Blah, blah, blah. It's like in the grand scheme of things, he's not that big. And like to give it even more perspective, Legend of Zelda sitting down here at $4 billion. Like it's not that big in the grand scheme of things. That's you got to time that by 25 times to get close to Pokemon.
Yeah.
So nuts. Anyway, I'm gonna probably have another Happy Meal or something over the weekend. Anyway, we'll buy some cards or whatever. I do like Happy Meals though. Like cheeseburgers are yum. They have that beef patty that in the middle. It's just
Yeah.
You know, it's been disgusting lately. I've had this, double quarter pounder meals or whatever, and the amount of grease that just like soaks into the bottom of the bun, and it's literally turns to liquid mush, and it's horrible. And like I used to like them. Why are they disgusting?
Well,
now? I put grease all over our new couch.
I had a theory on that. I reckon that they sit in the little burger trays a little bit longer because they don't have the high turnover because we're in lockdown.
Yeah, just get cheeseburgers.
Remember back in my day where they just pre-made all the burgers and chucked them on a little belt under a heat lamp, and they were just like, you just look what was made, and you're like, oh, I'll have one of those cheeseburgers, mate, and then they just give it to you. And then Super Size Me came out and proved how disgusting McDonald's was, and then they went around and made everything made fresh. But Super Size Me is kind of a gross movie in general.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
just disgusting.
It's just disgusting.
It made us look so bad.
It's not, yeah, but it's not your fault.
It's not my fault.
Not your it's not the American. It's maybe I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of it's exploitation from those big companies trying to trick you.
Notice it. Like I've been on keto all week. I haven't touched anything, and then last night I go to Macca's and buy a sundae.
You know
I
what?
had the biggest headache afterwards.
You know
It's just
what?
like, what the heck is in
I
this?
hadn't eaten Macca's like for a couple of weeks, like not, and then I've eaten it 2 days in a row, and now I feel like shit.
What do you mean a
Exactly.
couple of weeks? We've had it like several times.
When you
Like,
think about it, right? Because it's been more like once a month than once a week. The months are flying by.
sorry, let me just bring up my Uber Eats receipts because definitely
Yeah, I mean,
been
hey,
feeding.
let's talk about how many times you've done Uber Eats.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, we're on it. Let's talk about it.
Lockdown's hard, man. It's hard.
I'm not even in lockdown, and my list is probably up there.
Yeah, but you have like a fuck sleeping schedule.
Yeah, that's fair. And I need to go to the grocery store, and I've been saying it for the last 2 nights, and I just haven't. And I
Yeah.
have I've been wanting to make chicken breasts, but I haven't pulled them out of the freezer to let them defrost.
See, I'm like,
Can't get it?
oh, I'm hungry. I'll go to the supermarket, find everything I want to make a meal, come home, cook it, and eat it. Where now it's like, it's lockdown, and it's all miserable going outside and trying to get anything done. I'm like, well, it's kind of ruined the whole experience. So I guess I'll just sleep instead of eat. Just have a nap for dinner.
Yeah, have a nap for
We-
dinner. That's right.
We came out of it today, and I'm just avoiding the shops because they're just packed. Obviously, we've been locked up for a few weeks. And my work can only seat 20 outside, 10 inside, and the phone's just ringing constantly. People trying to book in.
But I don't,
They had people from New South Wales in there today, essentially having coffee. And we had a few people from Melbourne come up, and apparently they're in town to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
So,
apparently, let's not get bogged down in the bullshit.
mm,
But at the end of the day, everyone's like, it's bad enough where they're telling us to stay home, and because they're losing control of this bloody outbreak at the moment.
mhm.
But then they're like, you guys can go outside, but just be aware it's still fucking dangerous. Because you need to go outside, we're gonna let you go outside because we need business. And everyone's like, oh, perfect. I can go have a cup of tea and have a coffee by the lake with all these other people because, who gives a fuck about what's going on around the world?
Yeah.
Like, meanwhile, in Melbourne, there's literally businesses are like, it's for real this time, guys. Like, we're going to be in lockdown for a while. Close the doors,
I
It's
wish
ju-
that was still closed.
Like, I talk about how busy the place that essentially across the road is, the shopping center. There's 7, 8 stores now that are closed forever. Like, they're just gone. They packed them up. They're gone. They're just like, there's no point us being a business during COVID. And they're closing it. And there was an article today where one of the big eating, shopping, sort of high class sort of shopping districts, the Chapel Street here in Melbourne, which is where, a lot of influencers and stuff love to go shopping, whatever. And they're just like, they basically came out and said, if we let vaccinated people come shop, can we open? That's basically all they said, right? It's like, give us that at least because we're dying here. We want to be open. Can we at least just sell to vaccinated people? Anti-vaxxers rang them and threatened to kill them.
Oh,
That's how fast that
It's a mess
escalated.
here at the moment. Yeah.
It's like,
People are fucked
what the fuck? Like, completely irrelevant of what your opinion on whether or not what you want to do with your body. I don't give a shit. Don't spoil it for everyone else. Yeah, like that's a business that are literally like, we're going to go broke, and we're not going to be a business anymore. Can we open up for this? You should be happy that they're just open. You don't have to shop there, mate. Don't fucking ring them up and threaten them. It's just a dickhead move,
It is.
But
But we're just worried, like, we feel like we're being forced to go out and mingle with vaccinated, unvaccinated people with
you are.
COVID.
But that's not your fault. It's not the government's fault either. It's just the idiots, the people.
Yeah.
People.
We're forced to be exposed to it. And I've got workmates that are like, well, I can't go see my family anymore. I can't go see my grandma, my grandpa, because we're not vaccinated yet.
Yeah.
And we can't get vaccinated any sooner. We're not anti-vaxxers. We
So,
didn't
yeah.
slack.
So we had a meeting the other day on Thursday, which is, the irony is, it was Are You OK Day, and it's a meeting that, like, we have very formal, very laid out strategic meetings that they're from site managers and managers, whatever. This one here is just a group of people that we decided that we need to meet each week because our jobs will interact, and it's good to catch up and just find out that we're all on the right page, and so we're doing good work. So it's not a mandated meeting; it's just a meeting, and we had it and. We took the moment to, check in on each other and ask if we're okay. And what came out of it is we're all in lockdown. We're all fucking miserable about it. And we're all fully vaccinated. But we're all still waiting for everyone else to make up their mind and settle down, basically, so that we can actually go do something. Like, we've all done our part.
I know. How did you all get your part when I got vaccinated the day we were allowed to?
We just
And
fucking
other
did it.
people,
We did it.
yeah, but you got vaccinated before we were even allowed to get vaccinated.
We
So
did
most
it.
people aren't.
The vaccination was there. The appointment was there. I was a person, and I took that appointment, and I got stabbed in the arm. I don't know what else to tell you. It's like
Yeah.
and there's so many people that can do it. Like it's getting easier and easier day by day. People get it, and sometimes you got to wait a while, whatever. But it's not they're not the problem. Like the people that are in line to get a vaccination, or the people that are staying home, or the people that have seen their doctor and done the right thing, they're not the problem. It's the person who's the keyboard warrior who doesn't actually have any dog in this fight, who's just picking a fight, basically spreading bullshit or doing whatever. I mean, just if you don't want to have anything to do with it, just have nothing to do with it, mate. Just go fucking pick your flowers and play with the chicken or something. I don't know. Just don't go rowing up and bloody threatening people online or trying to spread your beliefs, because it's just not worth it. Like that's basically what it comes down to. So we sat down on Are You Okay Day and just went, well, this is. Guess we'll just keep working then and continue on. And you go, oh, man, if Frog was here. If you go and you look at the internet, and I made a funny tweet about it, and I know Nor saw it. Trending in Australia was not okay.
Yeah, I thought it was great because the timing of those two tweets were like perfectly together.
Yeah.
It's like, are you okay? And then you're like, not okay.
So
I just want to put it out there
Well, hang
that
on,
Are You
hang on,
Okay Day
hang
is
on,
like the
hang on,
biggest
hang on,
fake
hang
shit
on.
ever.
Hang on.
Go.
Slow
Fine.
down. All right.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Because what I was going to say is that Are You Okay Day is the biggest fake shit ever, right?
Oh, okay, we're on the same page. Well, it's an advertising campaign, but they don't raise any money for mental health services. They're not a not-for-profit. It's literally a one-day campaign.
Yeah.
And then they tap themselves on the back and be like, "Good job, everyone." It's just to raise awareness, but no, it's just a bunch of people wanting to flex and make some money.
So there's a very sliding scale. So basically, it's like saying to everyone, it's like, okay, everyone, on this day, you ask each other if you're okay, all right? Now, and then people are like, wow, that's a really good slogan. We're going to do that, and we're going to give people some cookies in the tea room. And then good job, everybody. Well done for mental health. When Australia is trending not okay instead of are we okay, we're not okay, all right? And when you look at the fact that the COVID outbreak that's caused 40,000 infections now in New South Wales, it comes from old mate from New South Wales, I can't even know her name, Gladdy. And then Gladdy tweets, "Are you okay?" on Are You Okay Day.
No.
But not only that, she took the generic picture that's going around with the Are You Okay thing, but like the lowest res version of it, so it's blurry even, and tweeted that to everyone on the same day that she said that we got, 1,400 new infections.
We're talking about Glad Wrap?
No, that's her name.
It's the day she told us she's not going to come on
And then
TV
today-
and tell us anything about anything anymore.
Yeah, and then today she turns around and she's like, we're not going to do health conferences every day anymore. I'll tell you when there's something important to tell you. By the way, 1,500 infections today and 5 people dead. That's not important though, guys. That's not important.
9 people dead.
The amount of things that she said and everyone facepalm. Like you watch her conference now, it's literally the people that are there, like the journalists, they're like yelling back at her, like, "Are you fucking serious?" they're because she said that, and the crowd, you can hear the crowd verbally go, "What are you talking about? Are you kidding me?" And then she turns around, she's like, "I'll tell you when there's something important to be told." I'm like, how are we meant to know when that is? They're like yelling back at her.
Holiday, mate.
And like yesterday, I forget earlier in the week, she's like, "Oh, we got to, as much as it's sad about people dying, we need to think about the big picture." It's like, well, no, I think people dying is the big picture. That's the biggest problem you could have, is when people are gone forever. But then she's like, "Oh, we need to be thinking about getting opened up again and whatever else." And I'm like, anyway, so on Are You Okay Day, she was in another hemisphere. She was so far off. Like, she should have, if she came down to our level and just said to us, "I know it's not okay, and there's been some mistakes, but we'll get through this." A bit of human sort of something. No, generic fucking post. And then a retweet of the fucking health results showing how fucking bad it is. I'm like, wow. I'm like, how can this be anything important? Like, how can this be an important person in this planet? Unbelievable. So then obviously there's a lot of conversations, and there's a few businesses and people talking about their workplaces and stuff like that. And some was like, normally we get a morning tea at least, but we didn't even get that because of COVID. They said it would be too dangerous to have Kit Kats. For my work, now I work in a very commercial sector, we'll say. So like builders and all that sort of stuff. But the side that I work in is in the independents. So we're franchisees and independent, all that sort of stuff. And we fight for independence is one of the things that we always talk about and whatever else. So my work, we're corporate technically. So we're owned and paid by the corporate, the conglomerate. But we still act as an independent because we were independents. And what they did was they didn't want stores closing down. So they literally said, we'll buy your store and you just keep running it because we rather your store be in business and buying stuff from us than be shutting down because you can't afford to run it as mum and pa, which is great. It's a great thing.
That's what Snap used to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we're very busy. It's a very shit time. Lockdowns mean we can't actually open the store. So we're doing click and collects and all that sort of stuff. And then they said they brought this whole package from Are You OK? Which is, I guess it's like a brand or a company or something. And they sent out all these Kit Kats and whatever else, and we're going to have a morning tea and stuff like that. And then we're split up into 3. So we report, we've got our group, and then we have our head office, which is our brand, and then we have the conglomerate, the main money at the top, right? So we said Kit Kats, and then our boss said, listen, Are You OK Day is not about just asking people if they're okay. It's about fucking listening to them, and if they're not okay, we need to act and do something to help them. Like you don't just say, are you okay? Always here to talk, and then just fucking don't do anything about it. Like you actively have to go talk to people, ask them if they're okay, and listen to them and actually talk through stuff with them. Like we're not a shill, basically, is what they said, right? Good on them. 10 points straight away. Then the boss's boss came back to us and they said, listen, no bullshit. We know it's not okay. Like it's fucked. Shit's fucked, basically, is what they said. And they said, everyone gets the day off, full pay. And my boss's immediate response was, how are we meant to be open? And they were like, figure it out. Everyone gets a day. That's it.
Figure it out.
That's it. Figure it out. You're paid to figure it out. You figure it out. That's like, it was a straight up, there's no fucking arguments. Everyone gets a day.
Is it everyone gets the same day?
No, whatever day. You just get a day. Take a day. And like it was, Are You OK Day was on Thursday. And some people took Friday off. I'm probably going to sneak a day next week, and it's like everyone's entitled to it. They can take whatever day they want. There's no disagreements. They get it. They get paid. That's it. And
they're doing a similar thing at my work too. But they've moved it forward to the end of the month when we have a public holiday. So they're going to put it at the other end of the weekend. Yep. So we have an extra long weekend. Yeah.
And then they just said straight up, it's like, everyone's not okay. Take a day for yourself. Do whatever you want. Rest. Just take some me time. Recharge. It's stressful. Help yourself out. And like, to me, I'm like, finally someone fucking gets it. Like, that's what it's about. It's about acknowledging the fact that there's some people that are under a lot of fucking stress at the moment and they could probably use a day off. And, so it's good. I am happy to sit on the positive end of Are You OK Day and not the corporate shill end where people just retweet the blurry image and say, hope you're okay today. Enjoy your...
As being responsible for why they're not okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. It's the Gladys fucking thing, that set me over the edge. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Are you that tone deaf?
Anyway, at the end of the day, all we should do is stay inside, eat Happy Meals, and open Pokemon cards. Okay?
I mean, do whatever you want. Is pretty much it. I think that's the important thing, regardless of Are You OK Day or whatever fucking everything is. And I've seen, like, I've always said it, and I say it to Shelby a lot as well, is like, pick one thing that you want to do today and just do it. Like, don't make a big deal out of it. Don't need to tell anyone about it. Whatever else. If you go, today I feel like watching Blue's Clues, just go watch Blue's Clues. Right? It doesn't take long. You can spare the time.
Steve would encourage it.
We also had a talk where you were just like, you have to just be selfish.
Yeah.
In some way. Obviously not selfish enough to leave the house and go and spread COVID around, but selfish about some things. Because I was a bit doom and gloom the other night, wasn't I? A bit talking about the apocalypse and stuff like that.
Like, it's
not good vibes.
Like, as much as like I just re-signed the lease for my apartment and stuff like that, and like they sent the generic thing of, you interested in getting into staying in the place, there might be an increase in your rent and stuff like that, and I just said straight up, I'm like, listen here, I'm not staying here if you're going to put the rent up. You tell me if you're putting the rent up or not. Let's not screw around. And also, I want these 5 things fucking fixed because I'm always in my house and they're driving me up the wall. Right, fix them. And they're like, okay, yes to everything. I'm like, all right. So it's like,
I can't replace you at the moment.
It's like, I mean, I know that, but it's to what my point is that a little bit of me time and like and to what I said to Shelby, selfish me time. Like, do exactly what you want. Don't care about anything else. If you want to eat ice cream for breakfast, if you want to go order 8 Happy Meals and not eat them and just get Space Jam toys, then you do that.
No, you fucking eat those Happy Meals.
You do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Like, I mean, obviously you've got responsibilities and everything else, but that's not to say you can't take 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, to do whatever the fuck you feel like doing, and make it a conscious thing. You stop, you think to yourself, I feel like doing blank, and then you just go make time and do it. Feel better, because otherwise you're just going to feel fucking miserable all the time. You know, it's life's short. We're probably going to be fucked by COVID for years. Let's be honest, and make the most of what you got. That's pretty much it. Very, very important. Bit of me time every now and then. So yeah, I'm just going to probably have Happy Meals on the weekend.
Yeah. Pancakes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, so I could just go shoot fireworks?
If you want to do that,
Why
man,
not?
do it.
I mean, I'll do it anyway.
Would anyone care?
No, it's America.
Exactly. I don't want to say it, but
If anything, they'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go join him.
All right.
all right. Let's on that bombshell of fireworks. Let's wrap things up. We're well and truly in
Pun
time.
intended.
I can do puns. Let's do the rounds. Norstar.
You can find me at Norstar TV on every social platform. No underscores, because I'm not a communist. Shelby.
I am a communist, so you can find me at ShellBunny_ on Twitter. You can find me at ShellBunny94 on TikTok, or just ShellBunny on Twitch.
And Trash has got a new name now, somehow.
It's Red Trash Panda
Red
on
Trash.
Twitter.
No numbers, no
And
underscores.
Doggies.
Just
No
Red Trash
nothing.
Panda.
And Red Trash Panda VT on pretty much everything else.
Nice.
Nice.
Also, I want to plug shellbunny.com.
Oh my god.
Get all your Shell Bunny merch at
I just want to
shellbunny.com.
point out, since we talked about the merch, Lucy has actually gone and spent her hard-earned money on that merch.
More of
So-
it?
No, I'm just saying, just like, because the podcast people don't know. Because you mentioned we mentioned the website like 2 podcasts ago, and then you put it in a Twitch chat, and now she's got merch.
All
So, you know,
I'm
It's your
gonna sign
No,
some
I love plugging
gonna-
shellbunny.com.
and sign some homework for everyone. Because obviously you can head to shellbunny.com and check out Shell Bunny merch. But if this podcast was to have a T-shirt, what would it say? That's a question.
For legal purposes, everything is a joke.
On that topic, we'll look forward to hearing your responses, and we'll talk to you all and see you all next week. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow ZLBpodcast on Twitter, and we'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
adios.
He introduced me before Shelby.
Oh.
Deliberately.